Well, hello everyone. Long time no see. Here at 6 Sierra 5. Continue on the tag team flight night with TwoToneMurphy, who is now raiding with a party of 31 here on Twitch. And will also be having his viewers from the YouTube wandering on over to my YouTube. Welcome to each and every one of you. I hope you are doing well. Giving you some time to use the take a break, get some water, maybe get a snack. Use the facilities, as it were, as we prepare to continue our trip from Montana into Idaho. We have a whole lot of people here already. Starting airstrip is 6 Sierra 5, which is continuing where TwoToneMurphy left. So, we're gonna, pardon me, I've had a bit of a sore throat as of late. That's a little better. We have some people to welcome. We have Red Dragon, CYN, welcome over. Tortuga Gaming's here. Randy Hurst's here. Looking forward to flying with you, warmed up and ready to go. Welcome, welcome. We have Lewis Blair, or Canadian Taz. Bad Dog's here. Welcome. Merlin Flyers here. Catbat9's here. Moose Knuckle Life is here. Edward Texas is here. Annalise is here. Hello, hello. Keen's here to drop a like. And he has to go. That's fine. Thanks for swinging by. We have Scotland. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the follow, Arlo. Murphy's here. Welcome, my good friend. I'm excellent stream and excellent handling of the first half of tonight's journey of the Tag Team Friday Flight Night. That is a bit of a tongue twister. Dilly571 is now following. Many thanks, my friend. I do greatly appreciate it. We have Whoosh Blammo is now flying. I like the name. Much approved. Do Sullivan 12. Hello, Colonel. Well, hello to you as well. Andrew Hill is here. Hello, hello. Edward, Texas is now following. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Walton's here. Welcome. Do Sullivan, can we join? Absolutely. We are on the East United States server. As Care85, I approve, is now following. Welcome, welcome. Wayne Prefontaine is here. I hope you're well. How's your? Jim Oates. Fast P80. 10 letters 65, welcome. Prepare to get wingman by Superfluid HE from Phil Does Twitch, welcome. MJ Daiso, hi mate, welcome. We have Dealey 571, welcome. We have Magic 888. We have Cherub. Welcome. Joining you for a spin in the friendly skies. Awesome. Papa Joe B is here. Welcome, welcome. Causeway 04. It's a raid. Welcome. Nick Herbert. Evening. Well, evening to you as well. Simon Hughes King. Howdy. John Ambler. Hi. Scotland 737 says he is at Kilo Sierra Mike November. You're a step ahead of us, my friend. Sydney OSB. Hi, Colonel Fort from Cape Town. Well, hello from Michigan. We have Brian Clark. Welcome, welcome. Pete K. Hi. Allison Johnson's here. Welcome, my friend. Phantom Tetra. Good afternoon, day, night, morning. It is evening for me. It's just getting into the 6 o'clock hour. Well, it's halfway through the 6 o'clock hour, I should say. That's a Streamlabs message. Cooper Pete, welcome. Greetings from the Flatlands. Greetings from the Great Lakes. Captain John and co-pilot Pickles, good evening. Gibbo Ireland, evening, afternoon. Evening, afternoon to you. Andrew Esselbach is greeting from North Idaho. Well, we're in your neck of the woods, aren't we? Hi, mate. Where in the world are you based? My current geographical location in the real world is in the state of Michigan. Mountain Biker Rules is here. Hey, hey. Tim Middleton, excuse me. Hello. And welcome. Well, this is where, as you can see, this is where Murphy, TwoToneMurphy, the one and only, and pilot and streamer extraordinaire, has left you. And this is where I'm picking up the flight night. Spokane, Washington for the Off. I'm probably butchering that. It's a service I provide for free at no extra cost to you. Let's see, Captain John and co-pilot Pickles, 6:33 p.m. in here in Pickering, Ontario, Canada. You seem to be in the same time zone as I am, so very much welcome. So we're going to go ahead and get in the cockpit, because there's a lot of you here, and there's a lot of you that have been flying for a couple of hours. I got it right. How about that? So we're going to go ahead and get the Cessna 172 started. We close the fuel cutoff. We set the trim. We make sure the fuel is the mixture. Well, it's fuel mixture. Is set to rich, except we don't because we're at a higher elevation. So we make sure it's leaned a little bit. We have the throttle cracked. We're going to hide that for now. And as the Off is now following. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate it. So we're going to turn the master battery and alternator switches on. We're going to toss the rotating beacon on. We're going to go down to our mags, select both, and clear prop. And we make sure we have a good start. We should have set the parking brake, so there we go. We make sure that the engine RPMs are sitting about 1,000. Time conditions using live time and live weather. So now that the engine is on and stabilized, we'll turn the avionics on, we'll turn the nav lights on, and the taxi lights on. Gonna go over and make sure that the transponder is activated. We make sure that our radios are correct. We check our altimeter setting. And And let's see, we go everything over all the instruments, make sure everything is good, things are in the green. All of that is going to be warming up, so that's good. I'm going to put that on temperature. We're going to put that on local time. Can't see anyone. I'm not sure. I'm hearing a lot of people. Can anybody confirm that we are live on YouTube again? Seeing a lot of live on Twitch, which is good. It confirmed that it's live on YouTube. Okay, we're back on YouTube, so go ahead and... Interesting. Well, if everyone wants to go ahead and start taking... Well, I'm just going to plow through. Well, that was weird. Wow, that's a lot of... TwoToneMurphy with the gifted subs. Holy cow, I can't see how many there are. My goodness. My goodness. I'm gonna have... Hold on, man. So, it seems TwoToneMurphy has gifted 10 Tier 1 subs to the community, with one going to Jim Oates, one to Broly, one to Annalisa, one to MJ Daiso, one to Big Ear 60, one to Hawk Driver 101, one to Luxer 911, one to Brick Grimes, one to Alternate Main Editors, and one to Waltons. Well, thank you, my friend. I do certainly greatly appreciate it. Evening Care. Station, we are at 6 Sierra 5. My goodness, my friend. You're a legend. You're an absolute legend. You're a gentleman and a scholar, my friend. I couldn't even get off the ground. Thank you. I do greatly appreciate it, my friend. You are awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get rolling and get in the pattern before the sun goes down. As the notifications are still going off. So we're going to get rolling. There's 40. There's airspeed is alive. 50. There's 55. One notch of flaps going down. A nice smooth takeoff. Can't see your plane in MSFS, and directly behind you on taxiway. Interesting. Phantom Tetra just subscribed on YouTube, as well as Sean Fairhurst. Many thanks, my friends. So if you're seeing this, go ahead and we're going to be making a left traffic pattern as we get up to altitude. And by pattern, I do mean a nice lazy left turn. Papa Joe B, I'm not sure why you can't see my aircraft in the game. That's interesting. So as the Fireflies are taking off and following in the pattern, as we gain altitude, I think if we give some time to different odd connection issues, it'll end up sorting itself out. Annalisa says, Colonel 485, are we still a flying circus for this leg? Well, absolutely. As Murphy has made it clear, and I have accepted it as truth, we are all one big community. As T Mark 59 is now following, many thanks, my friend. We're one big community, and we kind of I personally usually call it Murphy's community, but he's not wrong in the fact that it's really one big community, and I do appreciate him sharing you all with me. As T-Mark59 just subscribed with Tier 1. Many thanks, my friend. Do appreciate it. Orlando Aviators here. Hey, how about you? Walton's is binging on Netflix. Okay. Darren Holm just subscribed. Many thanks, my friend. I do greatly appreciate that. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, you were a little small, and yeah, we have a great community, and it's great. As Copper Pete has followed, and as well as Haljur. Big Ear. It looks like Big Ears 60 has donated or has gifted some Tier 1 subscriptions. We are on the East USA server. Big Ear 60 with 2 gift subs here on the channel. So many huge thanks for that. As Fraser Watt has followed, many thanks. You all have my sincerest of gratitudes. Now I've lost the airport. We're right over it. How about that? If you're in the airliner, it may be a generic model. I hope not. We're looking for no airplanes from outside of the marketplace except for the Black Box Simulations L19 Bird Dog and the MB339. No custom liveries as well. I'm airborne and can see the other aircraft. I try to keep there, but keep. Orlando Aviator, all you got to do is keep on it. You know, I'm sure that we'll work something out and probably do our best to help you. What are we flying tonight? We are flying the Cessna 172 Classic on the East USA server. We just departed 6 Sierra 5. We are on our way to Kilo Sierra Mike November. We're at currently just about 6,700 feet in altitude. We're going to start heading onto the magenta line on course. It certainly does for me as well. I've always been a fan of this layout because it's most all I ever known flying with my grandpa since I was a wee little lad. All I've ever known has been steam gauges, and in fact, even some gauges that aren't in modern airplanes anymore, the Loran C. So that ought to throw back some memories for some people. And ADF, absolutely. My grandpa had a Cessna 175A Skylark, which is what I'm most familiar with, making the 172 something that I'm equally familiar with, although it's a bit slower than the 175, but 175 was designed to be kind of a middle ground between the 172 and the 182. It just never really caught on, among other kind of stigmas around it. But it was what I knew, and So the 172, and I've been neglecting the 172 as of late, so I decided to correct it. So as we're approaching our altitude, our cruise altitude, we'll engage the autopilot, put that on 100 because it's just going to do that, and then engage nav mode. And we will properly intercept the magenta line. As we can see, fireflies already beginning to make their way. Look at that! Look at all of them! Look at all those fireflies. And that's something. As we turn the landing lights and strobe lights on, turn our taxi light off. Isn't that just nuts? I do appreciate all you following me over from Murphy's stream. You are all very welcome along. Murphy is a great streamer and a great friend and a great guy. So, very, very happy to share. Mr. Chippy's here. Nice job, Fireflies. Wish I was flying tonight. Just couldn't stay awake. That's fine. I'm sorry that I couldn't stream yesterday. I was a bit under the weather. Kind of struggling with a couple small health issues the last couple of weeks, but nothing life-threatening or dire. As we go ahead and adjust our engine power settings just a little bit, we're going to go down to 2,500 RPMs. We're on cruise. Double check our directional gyro, as well as the altimeter settings. Little eye. T-Mark59 says, how do you like the honeycomb yoke? I really enjoy it. I started off with a CH Products yoke, and it was decent, and for the price to performance ratio, as it were, it serves its purpose well enough. The honeycomb yoke is it's on another level, and it's really nice, and I really enjoy it. Mr. Chief's the same here. Didn't get any sleep last night, so been napping on and off all day. That was me yesterday, Chippy. I hope you're feeling better. And Annalise is on the mend as well, so I hope you're mending as well. Papa Joe B, it's all good at 7,500 feet cruise on the nav line, seeing all. Excellent. We get back out and look at all the fireflies. Look at them all. Holy crap. That's a lot of fireflies. I can't thank you all enough for stopping by. It's pretty awesome. That's something else. Look at them all. We've got the TBM struggling to keep slow enough. The wind's not helping anything either. It does look amazing. Well, I will say, thankfully, I haven't been sick enough to go on antibiotics, just a seasonal type. Cooper Pete says, what if you? Absolutely. Let's see, I once lived near a Loran C transmitter near Jupiter, Florida. The beacon would override FM and radio signals. That had to have been real annoying. As Peter Thomas has just subscribed on the YouTube, many thanks, my friend. I do really appreciate it. Yeah, and I didn't know much about Loran C growing up, but the more I learned about it, and wow, Annalisa is cheering 500 bits. Many thanks, Annalisa. I do appreciate it. But I found out Loran C was maintained by the Coast Guard and was also used for for shipping, for boats. So I found that out when I met my friend who was his former United States Coast Guard and knew exactly what Loran was. MSFS 20 is the greatest sim in the world. I do agree. It does have some growing pains, but considering it's been only been out a couple of months, it's fantastic, and it's been great for community building and for just meeting new people and seeing new places in different ways. It's fantastic. So as we go ahead and look ahead real quick, make sure that terrain's just fine. Oh, there's a massive the simulated horror, as Murphy would say. You're all, especially you and the TBMs, are doing an amazing job of keeping this slow pace of this poor little Cessna. Oh, it's fantastic. And see, 20. Well, and see, the Flight Sim 2020 has been really the bright spot of the year, given all the other unpleasantness that's been going on. I am using autopilot, but the flight sim it's been a VFR pilot's dream. It still has its growing pains. We're looking for a big U.S. update here on Tuesday, but it's just considering the year and the way it's been. This couldn't have come at a better time. Because it's said, no, I'm in TBM, autopilot is the only way I'm saying, gotcha. Flight Sim has kept my sanity in check, and being in a community with Murphy and Allison and Stuart Payne and Dangerous Brian and Ed Reed and Jim Oates and just a host of other people and all of you guys watching out there, it's been fantastic because we have a good little community. And it's just amazing. Gotcha. I understand that, Scotland. Don't want to keep you up too late. It's been a real treat over the last few months to fly with such a great group of folks. I couldn't agree more. As Gibbo Ireland has followed the channel. And man, these people are really following the advice of be fruitful and multiply. Absolutely nuts. There's so many lights. And Murphy was previewing, well, not previewing, but Dougal McTavish is here. How are you? I'm getting better. I'm feeling a bit better. Not 100%, but I'm doing a whole lot better. I hope you are well, my friend, or at the least on the mend, if you aren't feeling well. I do appreciate you swinging by and saying hello. Look at the sunset. Look at the sunset over the mountain, folks. Isn't that something? Don't forget to drink some water and stay hydrated, my friends. It's important. Get in the cockpit and check how far we're out, as Toxic Twin is now following here on Twitch. Welcome. Hope you enjoy the stream. Does vodka coffee count? Well, the coffee does. The vodka, well, I won't tell if you won't. So it's looking like we're going to have to gain a little bit of altitude, or we're going to do a little rerouting. So we're going to, if I'm looking at the map, we're just going to gain altitude. So we going to bump. That's not the button I wanted. We're going to bump up to 9,500, and we're going to go at about 300 feet per minute. Beer has water in it, doesn't it? My Bonanza doesn't do 80 knots. Check your mixture. It's Colonel said, we'd love to see you tomorrow. If you get a chance, fly a leg of our group flight. I will see what I can do, my friend. Exception on vodka and whiskey when you're under the weather. Absolutely. As Nurse Annalisa gives the advice, and I shall put my stamp of approval on it. Captain John and co-pilot Pickle says, no drinking and flying, please. That definitely applies to real life. 1 hour from bottle to throttle. Fly and drive responsibly, my friends. But Dougal, I will definitely look into that. A lot of it depends on what time it is. I keep a very odd sleep schedule. Not so odd if you're on the west coast of the United States, but a little opposite if you're in Europe from time to time. So we're going to keep an eye on our mixture settings. Keep the RPMs up. Aha! Can't go slow. Gotcha. 1900 Zulu. So I should be able to make at least part of that. I will look up the details, and if I need to put in an application to join in the flight, I will do so after the stream. The weather seems to come in every evening. Yep, a little bit. See, we do hours bottle to throttle here. Absolutely, Dougal, feel free to drop the link. So, Simwings is a fantastic operation who help the less fortunate or those that aren't able to on their own get into flight simulation for whatever means. And they help folks out by raising some money and donating some equipment to those that are in need of it to get them involved with aviation, or at least simulated aviation. And I think that is a fantastic thing because, Dougal, if it doesn't let you drop the link for whatever reason, just PM it to me and I will post it. 8 hours bottle throttle, that was supposed to... Aha! That's probably a lot better than an hour from bottle to throttle. The bottom line is to don't drink and fly in real life. In flight sim, we can get away with it because no one's going to actually get hurt, but don't do it in real life. Jameson is the answer. I forget the question. I approve. I need to get a bottle of Jameson myself, but it's been something of something I haven't been able to get lately. So we're gonna actually reduce. That's gonna go to. What are you doing? There we go. Let's see. Fine. I don't see it. PM it to me anyway, and I'll make sure to post it manually just in case. See, it's getting very late at my end, so I'm off to bed. Sorry, I can't fit. That's okay, Brian Clark. That's just fine. You get some sleep, and we'll catch you next time. Super Pete, question, best whiskey in the world. Ooh, that's gonna stir up some fun. That's the proper answer, is the one you can afford. So we're gonna get out and check out the sunset over the mountains. We have a King Air behind us. We have a whole slew of folks flying along. We are headed to Kilo Sierra Mike November, which is Lemhi County. Cruise speed is, as well, we're climbing a little bit, but it's about 100 knots indicated. Ground speed's about 104. We're about 37 nautical miles from the destination, or for the next stop, I should say. So our engine power is doing well. We're keeping speed. We're not stalling. We're climbing slowly enough to keep. Which server? East USA, Simon. They really nailed the visuals, and I know there's a lot of people that wish they would have focused more on systems, and I understand that, but for VFR pilots, the visuals are pretty much the biggest thing, because part of VFR flying is the visual part. You're looking for landmarks, whether it be a road or a river or a mountain or even a restaurant or a building. You know, it's huge, and to get this kind of navigation or this kind of visuals straight out of the box like this is just, they haven't done that before. Nobody's done that before, and the rest of the good stuff will come in time. It's absolutely stunning. And I haven't been to a place that I haven't enjoyed looking at in the sim. And I can't think of a singular time that I've had a bad experience flying here in the sim. It's just been absolutely wonderful. We drift off into the evening. So our destination should be in right about there. So we can probably make a slow descent. The field elevation for Lemhi County Airport is 4,044 feet. Let's see, no idea why, but I can't accept your Discord invite. DM me when you get a chance. Absolutely. Although it does say that you're on board. You should have a private message there, Dougal. $40.44. That is correct. And there's a lot of folks on the TwoToneMurphy voice chat. So I will copy this link, put it in here. And that should be a link to the advertisement and registration for the Simwings community group flight tomorrow in the Cape Verde Islands. It looks exciting. Colonel Ford, how many fireflies behind you this evening? I'm afraid to count, if I'm honest. I don't have the necessary, unless somebody's willing to count. If you are flying with us, still currently, and watching the stream, go ahead and put the number 8 in the chat, and hopefully somebody can help me count. Because, boy, I'm not going to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're at 13 currently. Whoa, a lot more. That's upwards of 20, give or take. I've already lost count. Goodness. Wait a bit. More than one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, 29 or 30, somewhere around in there. Welcome to have each and every one of you along. So we're going to adjust. We're now going to drop to 5,500 feet, but we're going to do so at a very slow 200 foot, well, 300 foot per minute descent rate. 30, yeah, 32, give or take. Around there. Very pleased that you all decided to join in. That is, in and of itself, the most important reason. Or fact. Or something. That's 32. Appreciate the count assistance. Now, I bet you're all wondering, well, gosh, Murphy had a face cam, didn't he? You know, Murph gets to show off his fancy mugs that are actually really cool, designed by the one and only Mrs. Two-Tone. Well, what does this guy have to offer as far as a camera or a mug? Well, I don't have my own mug so far, but I do have a face cam. As Moose Alrighty is following, I love the name. I have my own brand of merchandise. This is my Twitch exclusive t-shirt. That is the 47 Echo cleared for takeoff. And 47 Echo is the N number, the registration number I use in Flight Sim. It was, let's see, hey, just tapping my, glad to be here. Glad you swung by, Alaska 559. Glad you swung by. As we have Two-Tone with the dramatic effect. So I do have this available in my Teespring store. This particular shirt is a Twitch exclusive. I have another shirt design on the way for those of us that enjoy the steam gauges airplanes. And bonus points if you also enjoy The Mandalorian. So keep an eye out for that shirt. I have the design ready, just need to sort out the listing on Teespring. Okay, so we have the runway in sight. As I... the Mandalorian, Mr. Chippy. Guitar, mandolin, it's in the same family. It's a string instrument. Let's see, we're probably going to be looking at pardon me again. Oh goodness, we're runway 17 more than likely. Yeah, it was my grandpa's. Yes, he sold it about probably 2 years ago. He sold it about a year or so before he passed away last spring. But that is the exact airplane. It's currently owned by someone in Washington State. It is I believe it's a 59 model 175A Skylark. It was the first year with the swept tail. And he kept the geared Continental in it. I have a lot of grand memories with that airplane. So we're going to go into heading mode just a little bit so we can get a decent approach on the runway. So we're going to hit 150 degrees. We're going to go over and hit the heading button. I can't play the mandolin, but I can peel a mandarin. I don't find that appealing. So we see the runway. We're going to pretty much take a page out of Murphy's notebook. I'm going to land first, get myself set up so that I can watch the landings with the name tags and such. And then, before we take off, and while we're on the ground, we're probably going to go to a different time of day so that we can actually see where we're going. Thanks for sharing the story. He'd be pleased. I certainly hope so. My grandpa inspired me not only to get into flight, but to enjoy history, and I miss him quite a bit. And that tail number is used for sentimental reasons, and that's why I use it. Thanks for the stream, mate. You're welcome along, Raleigh Mall. Man, it's you'd think it was Christmas between the red and green lights and then the flashing lights. It's like you're only missing a Mooney for a Christmas tree. Yeah, my grandpa was a wonderful man, and I try to do my best to do what would make him proud. So, as we see that the sun is down over there, we have the airport in front of us. We have a slew of aircraft on our 6. Bill does Twitch. Is the stream cutting out for anyone else? I'm across the pond in Europe, which may be part of it. I also don't have the most fantastic of flying rigs. So if anybody's having issues, I do apologize. I'll do what I can to do what I can. Let's see, I'll turn my NAMLS up and even the strobe. No problems in Norway. Let's see, I've got the 10-degree heading bug. Can anyone assist curing it? It's kind of a thing that, unfortunately, I don't know if it's a bug so much as something they just decided to fix something that wasn't broken in one of the past couple of updates, but it's a frustrating thing to me as well. I'm currently on a heading of 150 so that I can get the proper approach to the runway. Uh-oh, Annalise is giving the tut-tut to Jim for being on YouTube. It's all good, Jim. Everybody can watch where works best for them. I personally prefer Twitch as a platform, but that is my personal preference, as it were. As we're getting close to the runway, or at least being on a proper heading for it. See, Twitch is the dark side. We have cookies. Annalisa giving Jim Oates the what for. So we're going to go ahead and disable the autopilot. We're going to pull back on the old throttle. Going to start a light turn. We're going to trim. Yes, dark delicious cookies. Well, see, they got lost in the shipping. And so we're working on it. We'll have to... We entrusted Murphy with the logistics of the cookie distribution, so we might have to have a word with him about it. So we have the runway, we have a good line. We're going to go ahead and reduce power to 2,000 RPM to help the descent. And we're going to use the trim to keep the nose kind of up to help lose the speed. You know, it's possible. We'll have to keep a close eye on Murph. We may have to start calling him the Cookie Bandit. So we're holding a good line, but we need to reduce our power down to about, we'll call it 1600 RPMs. Again, adjusting the trim, keep a nose up-ish attitude. Hit the white arc, we'll add 1 notch of flaps for the approach. We will use the trim to adjust to keep speed. As the night befalls the valley. We're a bit high on the glide slope. We're going to reduce power a little bit more. Add another notch of flaps in, again adjusting with the trim. Because the last thing you want to be doing on a final approach is a lot of big inputs. Keeps things nice and stabilized. So we're still a little high on the glide slope. That's okay. Keep reducing power. Nice. We'll add that last notch of flaps. Going to reduce throttle almost to idle. As I try not to sneeze on final. It's quite alright. And yes, the lighting makes it look fantastic. That's absolutely for certain. Make sure our landing light is on. All our lights are on. Got 1 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights. So, as we're over the threshold, over the piano keys, over the number, we roll out, idle throttle, we're in the ground effect. Using the rudder to stay on center line, constant back pressure on the yoke, touchdown. We let it roll out a little bit. We're going to retract the flaps. So as we're slow enough, we're going to go off to the side so that we can record some landings. So as we pull off to the side, we're going to stop. We're going to hit the parking brake, grab our Xbox One controller, get me out of the way. We're going to turn on some name tags. We're going to watch some night landing. So we have a lot of people already on the ground. So we have MJ Daiso with a nice landing. I try to make a really nice presentation. Just got a recommend from the awesome Dougal Matage to come visit. Hope you're doing well. Well, thanks, Kembo. I do appreciate you swinging by, as Magic 888 makes a very nice landing. Followed closely by the Flyboy 1968. Major Kongs is not doing a go-around, as Prefontaine 4 is almost down. Navy landing by Major Kongs. Thanks for the flight. I'll stay here. Have a safe trip. See you soon. As Godden77. As Roy Mal has a glad you swing by, Godden77. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening and a good sleep and a good day tomorrow. As Causeway 004 is inbound. Let's see. Cooper Pete says, yikes, my better half just run. We are up in 5 hours to go to the supermarket. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming along, and don't upset the missus. See, you have a good sleep and good luck tomorrow with the supermarket. As RWT Co. 1 is inbound in the King Air, and Causeway 004. Alger 1777 is in. Barchetta 08 makes a nice landing. Super Fluid HE touches down. Herbie Hare. Whoosh Blammo. Mountain Biking Rules are all inbound. As Flying Monk, Moving Pigeon is here. I see Alley Cats and Diesel Dan. As Kembo25 has just described, thank you, my friend. I do appreciate. Gibber Ireland has an approach. Do appreciate the subscription, my friend. So make a quick look to see if anybody else is coming in. We've got Rad Pilot Randy inbound. Very nice. Cherubs in. We get the last look of the airport at night. It's 1:30 a.m. time for bed. Thanks for the stream. Andrew Hill, thanks for coming along. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good night's rest. As we have Papa Joe B inbound. As Jim Wolf comes in. And Rattling Jeans, Fast P, Canadian Taz, and Nitrous Pulp. Couple more, Merlin Flyer and White as Ice. Wayne Prefontaine, you have a great night. Thanks for coming along. Well, we got somebody in a King Air. Captain Monkey, or Craft Monkey 86. Double check. Binary Barrel 747's in. Next up is Kilo Alpha Oscar Charlie. As we go back to the menu, turn off some name tags so we can get going on the next leg. Now, we're not taking necessarily the most direct of legs to we'll go back to about 10 to 2 in the afternoon. Apologies to those late landings. I apologize as I continue to hit the incorrect buttons. So, we're going to go, pardon me, I can speak, truly. So, as we are going to Kilo Alpha Oscar Charlie, you'll have to play a little follow the leader because we have to avoid some terrain. So in my, if you have the ability to edit your flight plan, pull it up in your radios. Bro, that's not the button I wanted. So we push that, scroll to there, and we're going to enter in Kilo Lima Lima Juliet as kind of a guiding waypoint. This is what you call calling an audible to help navigate through the mountains without having to worry about going over them. So you can either enter it in yourself. We're just going to be flying over this airport, so we're not landing there. Menu. Oh, that was the wrong one. I done goofed, folks. Let's see if I can ungoof this. So we're going to clear that. Go here. Enter. Then we're going to menu. Activate link. There we go. We got it fixed. So, Papa Joe B, thanks for the stream. Colonel, looking forward to joining you again in the future. Need to sign off for now. That's quite all right. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and we look forward to having you back. Dougal's just going to follow you guys today. That's awesome. Thank you, Colonel and Murph and everyone, for a great evening. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Magic 888. The Mighty Pigeon. And so, yeah, we're going to go ahead, if everybody is ready. We're going to go ahead and start making our way on the new, slightly adjusted flight plan. Once again, we're going to do a casual left-hand pattern, or a casual left-hand circle around the airfield while everybody gets airborne. We will have our autopilot set to 7,500 feet. As Jawaku has just subscribed on YouTube. Thank you very kindly, my friend. I do greatly appreciate it. As we are taxiing awfully quickly. So if everybody would go ahead and start taking off and doing a casual left-hand circle over the airfield, that would be awesome. We're going to probably just start casually just making our way around the line. Simon Hughes King, gotta sleep. That's quite all right, my friend. I'm glad you came by and joined us for part of the journey, and you have a great night. So our flaps are up. Lights, landing lights on, taxi lights off, strobe lights on. Mixture set as we slowly add power into the engine. We do the pedal dance and keep our airplane as close to the center line as possible. There, air's alive. There's 50 knots, 55. We add 1 notch of flaps in. The one thing we didn't do is reset our trim, but that's okay. We double check our altimeter setting. As Jim out breaks out the scotch. Good call, my friend. As we maintain our stabilized approach or climb, we hit 300 feet, flaps go up. Peter Fast P, thanks a million, Colonel Fork and Murph. I'm heading off, but I'll catch you on the next one. Really enjoyed that. I'm glad you enjoyed it, my friend. We'll look forward to you joining us on the next stream. We do a casual left turn, which we may have to make sure that we're avoiding mountains and such. as everyone gets airborne. You have a good night, Peter, and we look forward to flying with you again. So as we look outside and watch everyone with their takeoffs, departures, all the little blinky lights. I'm going to go ahead and continuously adjust our trim to remain stable, as well as our mixture settings as we increase in altitude. So we're going to start another casual left turn. So it's the key of you got to keep your distance, but you can't look like you're keeping your distance and fly casual. It truly is. It's definitely on the list of places I would love to go in real life once some of the current unpleasantness is done. Good to see you streaming today, Colonel. Glad you're feeling better, mate. I'm glad you're along, and I appreciate the sentiments. I'm glad I'm feeling a little bit better too. Yesterday was kind of rough, but I'm feeling better. Everyone's so polite on the taxiways. We have a great little community. The scenery is amazing. I'm glad you enjoyed it and are enjoying it. And yes, it is great that we're getting so much better with the etiquette of flying, although I did cut in line. So I apologize for cutting in line, but we got places to go and things to do. Everybody's waiting on me. And I know Murph has credited me with the flight plan and said that I put a lot of effort into it. In all honesty, I put a little bit of thought into it, and I came up just because I had done a flight in this general area, Murph had done a flight in this general area, and it's too good to not fly through and fly through in different ways as well. So it was kind of an easy decision to fly through here again. So we're approaching cruise altitude of 7,500 feet. We're going to go ahead and activate the autopilot. That's the word I was looking for. Going to go ahead and activate nav mode. Another vodka, got it. Well, I mean, if you're offering some vodkas, I mean, I wouldn't mind. Does sugar-free soda count? I mean, I'll give you a pass on it this time. But next time, it's a glass of water. . And there's the little airport that we were just at. So the intent is this little audible that we called, and adding a if you're gonna go cream soda, you might as well just go root beer or some classic sarsaparilla. So with the little added waypoint as it is, that basically gives us a nice path between mountains so that we can actually be below the peaks and not have to worry about engine performance so much. So as we are at cruise altitude, we're going to back the throttle down to 2,500 RPM ish. Me and that bot are going to get along just fine. Well, I'm glad. It's only 3-liter American cream soda. Now, we may need to do some minor course adjusting, but we should, in general, be okay. I will, of course, announce any major course adjustments that need to be made. But the added little waypoint makes it a little easier to navigate where we're going. So, like right now, I'm going to set the heading mode for 180 degrees, and we'll go to the little autopilot and set 180, or set it to heading mode, so that we're flying down in this valley. Quick save soda, 18 liters for 40 pence. Good for cleaning paintbrushes. And a load of wham bars. You know, one of these days I'm going to have to find a way to get assorted treats from Ireland and the United Kingdom over here in the United States, just so I can see what you're all on about and get a taste of that part of the world. I'm actually drinking flat 7-Up. Flat 7-Up is basically sugar water. Murph will back me up on this as a wonder drink for when you're sick. If you want a wonder drink, get some ginger ale. And the best ginger ale, it goes by the brand name of Werner's. It is a Michigan original. See, we use we use the Werner's ginger ale for when we're sick, especially with tummy aches. It's almost a cure-all. In fact, when Werner's was first invented, it was literally used medicinally, and it still cures just about everything for those of us in Michigan. Oh, my sympathies, Lewis. If it's not Werner's, it's not ginger ale, but I'm also heavily biased. Smothered in Vicks, and I have a pint glass full of flat 7-Up. At the end of the day, it's what makes you feel better, and that's what's important. And Vicks Vapor Rub, holy cow, that throws back the memories. See, and that's why when I use a throat lozenge, or simply stated a cough drop, it's the Hall's mentholyptus, or the menthol flavors, and that gives me all kinds of memories. Speaking of which, I'm going to chew on one now, not chew, but have one in the mouth. So if we bring up our little map here, you're following this river most of the way down until we get to there where we make a turn without stopping on our way to Kilo Alpha Oscar Charlie. Let's see, Mom used to... Let's see, this is... my mom used to put some in a bowl with hot water and put a towel over my head, and hey, if it works. Cherub says, breathtaking scenery. I'm trying not to get too distracted. It's difficult, I know. It's a wonderful place to do some flying, for sure. Be stinging like me. Whatever cures the ails, or cures that which ails you. Pardon me. Puiden says, if you're of an age from the UK, Lucozade is the cure-all. Actually, it will probably fix COVID. Hey, you never know until you try. I have to sign off for now. Thanks, Colonel, TTM, and everyone else. Catch you soon. Thanks for flying along, Red Dragon. Glad to have you on board, and we will see you next time. See, it sounds like you're talking about an equivalent to NyQuil. I don't know if you have that over in your part of the world. Most people don't like it because it's tastes kind of like licorice, black licorice, and that's it. You want to start a fight, you start talking about black licorice. I'm telling you, people either love it or hate it. The high sugar glucose drink. That sounds about like just about anything made in America. If it's sugar free, is it really American? Real questions with the Colonel. Yeah, you don't need to spell it. See, I love the taste of it, but I have to moderate myself because I can go through some black licorice. It's really fun when you find someone that's really opposed to it, and I had a coworker once that just was disgusted at the very thought of black licorice. So me being the person that I am would take some to work and be like, "Hey, I got some licorice. You want some?" And he would just, we had a laugh about it. It was good fun. Let's see. I used to get Coltsfoot Rock from the herbal health shop. Tasted like aniseed. Let's see. Howger's on a soda detox until Christmas, so I'm drinking pineapple flavored water. That doesn't sound too bad. Pineapple can go on pizza, it can go on water. Is there anything in the USA that has got no sugar? Technically, yes. But we like adding sugar to a lot of things. I bet you do, Jim. Next time you go, you'll have to point me in the direction of getting some shipped to my house. Coffee and water's good. I'm not a personal fan of coffee. And I'm okay with that. I love the word licorice because everybody can say licorice until they see how it's spelled and then they're confused. And then nobody can type it out, but they can say it. I love it. English is such a complicated language. Does anyone eat Vegemite? I've heard stories. Vegemite just basically sounds like you're better off just taking a spoonful of salt and just eating that. But that's just my inexperience of I've never tried Vegemite. If the opportunity were to come up, I probably would at least try it and see how it goes. So I do have the little VFR map up so that people that may have lost the way with the Audible can find their way to us. Aha! Marmite and Vegemite is called the same. It's just probably just the difference between the UK and Australia. Trying to put it in an airport code in the AP while flying makes it look like I'm flying drunk. Yeah, we all have that. I've done that myself. It's a real trick. Yep. Or there, and there. Or where and where. So we have some fireflies buzzing around here. I'm very glad you are all enjoying the flight. I'm glad you're all coming along for it. Special shout out to those of you on the TwoToneMurphy Discord server in the voice chat. I hope you're all having a fantastic time, and I expect that you're talking about me, and I hope it's just nothing but what I'm doing wrong. Because if you're not talking about what I'm doing wrong, are you doing it right? Let's see. Shower thought. Is firefly the opposite of waterfall? That's a fair question. It's sort of like, what's the opposite of live long and prosper? Would the opposite be die soon and poverty? What a way to go. See, as much as I helped save Rona, I love it if some of these guys did a leg or two at tomorrow's Swimwings flight in the BBM. Well, you can self-advertise. I don't mind. Do what you need to do. You guys, Simwings is a great operation. And I am more than happy to do my part to help support and even so much as doing a little bit of a flight or even sharing information. See, Allison Johnson is doing grand, although your eyes are getting heavy. I can understand it's getting late for all my European friends. And I would not blame you for dropping off. It's late, but it is the weekend. But I'm glad you're along regardless. We're talking about microphones. So I have, on the topic of microphones, a Blue Yeti on a bit of an arm with a pop filter as my main streaming microphone for the purposes of voice chat for Discord. I have the microphone that is on my Astro A40s, and it works pretty darn well. The microphone is also detachable. Almost 1 a.m. or midnight for my European friends. I agree, Dougal. There needs to be more the VFR GA pilots in the world. So we're going to go ahead and reactivate nav mode. And because we forgot to do this when we reloaded, I'm going to throw some fuel in the old bird. Let's see, Alice had, Dougal just had some ice cream. That sounds wonderful. New thing now, it's Marmite peanut butter. That sounds interesting. There's sausage roll flavor crisps in... sausage roll? That sounds intriguing. 2 a.m. for Cat Bat. No, absolutely. 100%, Dougal. There's never been a more VFR general aviation friendly flight sim than this. They really hit the nail on the head for those of us looking to fly out the windscreen and not be stuck on instruments. Because this is the grassroots, the core of what aviation is. It's where everybody starts. And I think a lot of people miss out on the joys of this type of flying. They just want to go straight to the helicopters or straight to the airliners, and this is the bread and butter of flying. As we've been joined by a couple fireflies. Fast dive. 103 hours, Peter Thomas. I'm pushing 250 right about now. I'm right with you, Raleigh Mall. It's just for streaming, and when you're playing the Pied Piper, it's a lot easier to use the autopilot because it allows me to pay attention to chat. Otherwise, I much prefer flying by hand myself. And Dougal, I've never really been all that fascinated by the airliners. I mean, they're viable form of transportation, but it's basically a bus, and it's not as fun. You don't get to see as much. So yeah, Greg's should do their own line of crisps. I would definitely buy Greg's steak bake chips. Well, y'all are making me hungry. Lucky for me, I do have some spaghetti that I bought earlier today waiting for me when I get done with the stream tonight. As we make our turn towards Kilo Alpha Oscar Charlie. I get to see everything up front when I see. That's the place to be, Jay. Is when the jump seat. Irish flavor. I'm gonna guess that's Bali Mall. Relish flavored chips. I'm gonna assume that has to taste kind of like, because they make pickle flavored chips, like salt and pickle potato chips over here, and they're actually pretty good. They're the top 5 of my favorite flavors of potato chip. Number 1 going hands down to salt and vinegar. Bali Malu. I was close. Bali Malu. Bali Malu. Bali Malu. I haven't had them. Where do you get them? Another member of the top 5 club of my favorite flavor of chips is sour cream and cheddar. Specifically the Ruffles brand. Oh, then the pickle flavor's in there. Even the regular flavor's in there, and then it's probably barbecue. Ooh. Don't get me wrong, you get a little ketchup on your potato chip, and it's okay. I can eat it, but I don't know about just straight flavored. It almost sounds like I'd get sick of them after a short time. I'll have to give them a try. Chili Ranch is your go-to for Haljer. In Canada. Well, I am close to Canada, and I'm pretty sure we have ketchup flavored chips here in the United States. And being in Michigan, I'm right next door to Canada anyway. Let's see. Scampi fries. What are scampi fries? You guys are killing me. I haven't had supper yet. Don't feel too bad. I'm getting hungry myself. I have food that I don't want to eat on stream. Hey, think of it this way. Having beer and alcohol is great, but sometimes you need something to counteract the effects of the alcohol. And I like food. I like food way more than I should, if I'm 100% honest. We have Vegemite biscuits, which have Vegemite in it. Ooh, I'm not sure about how I feel about that. Let's see. Oh, we may have to gain a little bit of altitude. We're gonna crank it up 1,000 feet. Add some throttle back into the mix. Ketchup, salt and vinegar, all dressed. Sour cream and onion, barbecue. See, sour cream and onion it's like my sixth, because it's good. And if I'm going for plain flavored potato chips, it's definitely a Pringles. See, I love talking about food because it gets everybody hungry. Scampi fries are an oddity. You can only get them in a pub or dollar store, and the bags are tiny, like 50 grams. But what's the flavor? Because the only thing I've heard in relation to scampi is shrimp, or as the Australians would call them, prawns. See, Jim's just gonna start doing a kitchen stream. He's gonna do cooking with Jim. Shrimp flavored. Interesting. That sounds interesting. Aha. Well, fascinating. Check a prawn on the barbie, mate. That was an awful accent. I just offended a lot of people right there. It sure does. I'm sitting here chewing on a pen. I don't really have anything worth chewing on except for the spot of spaghetti I have close by that I'm just eagerly waiting the opportunity to consume. So we may have to crank this up another 1,000 to get over this little bit of terrain. So yes, Murphy and I shall fly. Murphy will discuss the adult beverages. I will discuss the foods, and Jim will stream himself in the kitchen preparing everything. He will find the right combinations of what adult beverage to what meal and then make it happen. So when Murphy invites us all over to his neck of the woods, we'll have Jim Oates catering. Smell it after shower. What is the destination? The destination is Kilo Alpha Oscar Charlie. That will be the site of our next landing. The final destination should be Uniform 5-6. Confirmed, Uniform 5-6. We used Kilo Lima Lima Juliet as a waypoint to help us navigate through the mountains. Jim's Kitchen Channel sounds like a plan. First recipe is pineapple pizza. Absolutely. I'll post a Allison Johnson's going to post a picture of the fireflies following me earlier in the stream. Well, much appreciated, Allison. As I'm doing my job to juggle several things at once, and primarily focusing on the flying. And Scotland has Stephen looking after his farm. Jim Oates, flying cook. We'll get him a caravan, and instead of seats, he just has a full kitchen. And he can have a sliding window on it like a food truck. I think that sounds like a fantastic plan. Gibbo, Ireland, good night. Got to get some shut-eye till next time. Thanks much. Well, thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you came by. And we will catch you next time. We're going to go back to the sim and do some terrain avoidance. We're going to set it to 140 degrees and activate heading mode. The Dancing Flying Chef. Catback 9 is catching up, has had every kind of possible gremlin tonight. Well, that is unfortunate, but we'll look forward to you rendezvousing. Dessert Chef. Yes, the Jim Oates and Annalisa flying dancing chefs. But yes, we'll get Jim a caravan so that instead of I don't know if you've heard of a food truck, but instead of a food truck, it's a flying food, flying food. Yeah, food flight. I've invented it, and therefore it must be so. It must happen. So we're gonna get out of the airplane for a little while, as we've gotten to the point where we're actually avoiding terrain. As the herd of fireflies has thinned out just a bit. That's okay. I take the responsibility for the scattering. Although this appears to be the general area of our destination. Of Arco-Butte County Airport. So we're going to probably be looking at runway. Well, let's check the METARs real fast. No data, no METAR for AOC. That's helpful. So we'll expect runway 24 for landing. Should be on nav mode, shouldn't I? No, I'm on heading. That's probably a good call for right now. So once we get past this, we'll return to nav mode. We're also going to go back down to 7,500 feet at 200 feet per minute. Wind is light out of the northeast according to windy.com. So if it's out of the northeast, we'll then perhaps we shall take runway 6. I'm hoping that this is an MB339 and not an Airbus. Now, it would be real fun, or it'd be real interesting to live up here, just to see what life is like in the high plains. I do appreciate the wind advice, Moose Knuckle. Or simply said, Moose. So now that we have cleared this little bit of mountains, we're going to go back on nav mode. And hopefully not run into the mountains in the process. You know how to roll the dice, that's a fact. I rolled a 4, so it's not looking great. So we're actually going to go back to heading mode. I wonder how populated it is, like how far your nearest neighbor would be. Well, in some cases, I would imagine it could be in a matter of miles. The states of Idaho and Montana are not the most highly populated states in the United States. Okay, now we'll go back to nav mode. Now we'll clear the mountain. We'll double check our altimeter, and it seems to be just fine. We make the turn along the magenta line. Dougal, wish I knew why sometimes the 1 degree heading increments work, but mostly in the tens. I used to be able to make heads and tails of it, but for the last 2 or 3 updates, it's just been stuck at tens, and I don't know why. Airport is at 5,336 feet, according to Lewis. Should be okay, as we're currently at slowing to about 8,500. Back down the RPMs to 2,500. We're 30 miles. We've 30 miles to go. And consulting the map, we're going to go back to heading mode. I'm making it real confusing, folks, and I apologize. Go back to heading mode at a course of 140 degrees. Interesting. I've had that happen from time to time, and I don't know what triggers it. I wish there was some sort of known thing that this is how you switch it, switch the increment amount. But as it currently stands, I've no idea. I like living dangerously, flying as low as I safely can. That's a fair point, Dougal. The best thing we can probably do is go to the forums and point out the issue, or make the suggestion and see where it goes. Have some good formation flying going on. We got a Firefly up there. We got one back here. Pardon me. Got another Firefly right here. We got a couple more out in this area. Got one up there. So as difficult as I'm making it, everybody seems to be keeping somewhat together. I'm testing everyone's navigational skills, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's no moon. That's a space station. But really, it's just a moon. That's fair. I've yet to try any of the name tag mods. It's just, for me, it's easier to just turn them on when I need them, and until Asobo actually maps that to a button. Although when I'm flying on somebody else's route flight, I have a tendency to have it on just so I don't get lost. So we're looking to get around that. They also need to do something to fix this. They either not have it display anything, or make it actually show something. I feel that either would make the most sense, but that's just my little opinion. Got a Firefly down there. We got Firefly there, and one there. One there. One up here. One casting a shadow here. Below. One up there. There, there. We're scattered, but we're around. They scare easy, but they'll be back, and in greater numbers. So, TwoToneMurphy was flying the Coronado Piper Seminole. Just a bit ahead says Allison. Copy that. So he was flying it. I did a flight with it last night, just on my own. And it took me roughly an hour and a half to get from where my home city to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in roughly an hour and a half, which is a significantly shorter time than I've done it in the past. And I wasn't using full power either. But it's a nice airplane. The autopilot took a minute to get my head around, just with how it activates, how you activate the altitude hold. It's a much different system than I'm accustomed to, and it threw me for quite the loop. But eventually I figured it out. So we're going to adjust course to 130. Yeah, that goes. Maybe we can get 140. Or roughly in the low spots, about 300 AGL or above. I can certainly bring it up. We're just about to, or within the airspace, which should be in this general vicinity. We're approximately 10 miles out. Start descending down to 7,500. As we approach the airspace, going to adjust our heading to 160. As we look to intercept runway 6. So it'll be off this side, little ways in the distance, 5 miles out, about 6 miles. And as we look off this way, this is past over here will be where we're going to end the night. So we should be getting eyes on the airfield here momentarily. Unless I am completely blind, which is possible. I do believe that might be it right there. Maybe not. I think it is, though. So we're going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot. Reduce throttle. Pardon me. As we, aha, yep, eyes on the runway. Right there. So, once again, I'll get down. I'll get set up for taking view of the landings of the Fireflies. As we keep an eye on the airfield. So we'll hit 20,000 or 2,000 RPM ish. Just with trim. Okay, we in the white arc, so we'll add a notch of flap in. Okay, we'll go ahead and adjust power down to 1500 RPM. And continue to compensate with trim. Go ahead and add a second notch of flap in. Looks like we're going to have to do a bit of a slip. So right rudder and left aileron. Will help us drop altitude a whole lot faster. Add in that last notch of flaps. Congratulations, Scotland has just passed 200 hours in the sim. Or on the Mooney. Or in the sim, but with the Mooney. Okay, we're going to go ahead and reduce power significantly. We're really high on the glide slope. We continue our slip maneuver. We have a pair of TBMs in front of us. Slight crosswind. And we power to idle. On the rollout, maintain back pressure on the yoke. Nose up. As a firm landing. We continue the rollout. We're under 40 knots, so we'll pull the flaps up. Gotcha there, Scotland. So we'll take this taxiway off to the side and get set up for the final for the landings before we hit the final leg of our tag team flight night. Started with TwoToneMurphy on the first 3 legs, and I picked up at an airport of choice and continued it thus far. So we're off to the side. We're going to turn on some name tags. Gonna get in. Wow, we're not as spread out as I thought. As Alley Cats is down. As we have Roy Mal down, or Raleigh Mal down. I just happen to have a lot of time on my hands right now. As Jay Watts is inbound in the King Air. Algier has just gotten 100 hours. That's still awesome. Very well done, Jay. I'm gonna hide the VFR map for right now. As we got Piat inbound in what's probably a caravan, although it looks like a Lattice PC-12. John Ambler is off to bed. Well, thanks for flying along, and I hope you have a great night's sleep, and we shall catch you the next time. Whoosh Blammo is in with a nice landing. Ooh, we got Canadian Taz with a steep approach. Eltor and Alger and Jim Wolf inbound. Sean with the nice landing, and nice landings by all. A little rough on the landing jib, but that's just fine. Bad Dog's in. He's a good dog. My Owen Wilson Bad Dog is not a very good impression. We have Catbat. With a nice steady approach. As MG Daiso inbound. Binary Barrel's a little off to the side, but that's okay. Dougal McTavish is in. I may need to adjust my camera position. Oh, Binary. Nicely recovered, my dude. And Barchett and Dougal are down. The Flyboy 1968 and the one and only TwoToneMurphy, both inbound. Merlin Flyer as well. You have a good night, Scotland. Thanks for tagging along, and we'll catch you next time as the Flyboy's down. Nicely done. Murphy appears to be down, as well as Merlin Flyer. And here comes Warhamster. and Rad Pilot Randy shortly after Warhamster. Nicely done by you two, as well as we're going to readjust our camera view here momentarily, but by all means, continue your landings. As Dougal heads to bed, you have a great night, Dougal, and we'll catch you hopefully tomorrow. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and we look forward to doing this more often as Sean Legoman and White as Ice come in. With Britt Grimes. Nice landing, my friend. Cherub's in with a good solid landing, a little bit of a bounce. You have a good night, Dougal. As Rattling Jeans is inbound with a nice slip. As it's time for Allison to go to bed. I'm glad you had a good time, and we'll catch you next time, and you have a good night. Yes, everybody's doing a fantastic job with their landings. Piat says this is fun, though I do miss the silly music bit. That's because I do not current have a subscription to the Epidemic Sound service that Murphy has. Otherwise, it would probably be playing as well. As Badip comes in for a nice, smooth, buttery landing. Now the question is that everybody? Or do we have more? Zoom out a little bit and pan around. We got Jerryman and Fly Drakey inbound. They should be our last two of the evening. As everyone begins to line up. As Piat goes to bed, you have a good night, my friend, and I hope you have a good rest. Saturday morning here in Australia. Thanks for a great flight, and see you next time. Off to practice landings is Ravalli Mall. Well, glad you came by and you enjoyed the flight, and I wish you a good day, and we'll catch you next time. So, as everybody starts to make their way to the approach end of the runway, for the next departure, I will try to navigate to my little plane. Back in le cockpit. This place has just been providing hours of just enjoyment strictly for the visuals, but having people along has been even better. So, we're going to keep the autopilot set to 7,500 feet. Our next and final leg is to the airport of Uniform 5-6. So if everybody wouldn't mind too terribly to, if you're already at the runway, to begin your departures, make a nice lazy left turn and do some circles as we get up to altitude. For our final leg. Everybody's being very patient and polite on the taxiways. But by all means, go ahead with your departures. Don't wait for me. I will catch up. Yep, we're on the this is the last leg, and it's a relatively short leg. So what we call this, what everybody's doing right now, is a minimum interval takeoff, meaning you really don't stop. You keep the traffic moving as best as you can. Which is a common, if not vital, practice at Oshkosh. Although it is commonly called Oshkosh, the technical name for the event that we are planning to do is Air Venture. Kind of the combination of Air Adventure. But it's the EAA Air Venture in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And we're planning a 2022 meet. So aileron into the wind, a little bit of counter rudder. The airspeed's definitely alive. One notch of flaps. We're off the ground. That was a little squirrely takeoff. Pardon me. That's about 300 feet. Flaps are going up. We're going to start the left-hand circuit around the airfield while everybody gets up back in the air. Now, I I believe we're currently flying in what is the Great Basin. Don't quote me on that because I can't necessarily confirm that right now. But it's an exceedingly large piece of land of the United States that is fairly flat, with the odd mountains sprinkled in this part of the United States. Wyoming is a very prominent, or a state predominantly in the Great Basin. But what I know of it, it seems logical to say that we're currently flying over the northern bit of it. Now, this leg should be much less confusing because there's much fewer peaks in the way. Because it seems that many people are already up in the air, or if there's anybody on the ground, I unfortunately cannot currently see them. Pardon me. So we'll go ahead and activate autopilot. Go just the vertical speed to 400 feet per minute. And we're going to go activate nav mode. Pardon me. As the fireflies gather once more in the skies. Pardon me. Double check our engine power settings. I wouldn't worry too much about that. We're just worrying about intercepting the magenta line, which is just about to happen. And we're at cruise altitude, so we're going to dial it back to 2,500 RPM. See, pardon me. I was going to do my classic, what is everybody listening to kind of statement, and I was going to say, what's playing in everyone's tape player? And then I felt real old. There certainly is a load of fireflies still with us, and that's awesome. Randy Hurst has to go. Thanks for having. We're glad you came along, and we do look forward to having you next time. There will always be a next time. And you have a good night, and we shall catch you aforementioned next time. So engine settings are good. Autopilot's good. What is in my 8-track? Well, it's my dad's 8-track, and it's probably ABBA. In all seriousness, though, I have been watching / listening to Critical Role. I've been listening to a little Mannheim Steamroller for some Christmas flair. Little bit of The Weekend. What is everyone else listening? Any podcasts or music, or what has your ear, your casual listening ear, when you're not flying, or even during when you're flying? And there's still a lot of you. There is a lot of you still. We have Zoom. What does everyone think of the new Piper Seminole from Coronado? Raleigh Mal is listening to the Rolling Stones and Exile on Main Street. Colonel Fork Radio now. Lewis is listening to AC/DC, Metallica, and Rush. All good choices. I've often said that I have a face for radio and a voice for silent film. And that's a lot of fireflies. That's a lot of fireflies that are still with us. Oh, that makes me feel good. JJ Kale. Can't say as I've heard of them. What type of music is that? We got a wing waiver. So everyone do the wing wave to the audience. From your first streams till now, you have improved considerably. Well, I appreciate that. Keep trying to think of new ways to innovate, new places to go, and I'm always open to constructive criticism. If there's something I can improve upon, if there's good things that I'm doing, if there's bad things that I'm doing, as long as it's constructive, I'm open to suggestion. In the end, I do this because I enjoy it. I'm just pleased as punch, happy as a clam that there are people that enjoy sharing along and coming along on these little journeys. As I'm going to check the radios to see what different. We got just under 50 nautical miles left to go, and that's fine. It's real flat out front. Captain John and co-pilot Pickles has to go. Well, you and co-pilot Pickles have a great night, and we shall catch you next time. And you have a nice rest. They call you the Breeze. That sounds like something I've heard. I would probably recognize. It sounds like something I would recognize if I heard it, but I've never really known the name of the artist and song. Aha. There are still quite a few of us on the way, as we have some clouds to the south. Some more clouds that way, and mountains. It's been a fantastic evening, I do have to say. Murph did a fantastic job with the first 3 legs of this particular trip. It was a pleasure to watch and participate in, as we've got the aerobatics crew out. It's been also an equal pleasure and joy to be the stream lead, and I look forward to doing more of these tag team flight nights with TwoToneMurphy as time goes on. They're a lot of fun. They do require a little bit of planning and coordination, but it's all worth it in the end, because Murph runs a good stream, and we have, pardon me, a great community building, and it's growing every day. And we'll have to coordinate for the next trip, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the new USA update that comes out this Tuesday. Doing fantastic work. Everybody's just doing some really nice work. Energize. Mr. O'Brien, beam me up. Fun fact, I think that Miles Edward O'Brien is the most prominent enlisted man in all of the Star Trek series. Although, that being said, I've not watched any Star Trek Discovery, and I didn't watch that much of Star Trek Voyager, so I can't say that with 100% certainty, but he's my favorite enlisted man. I've always had a bit of a preference towards the engineers of Star Trek, all starting with Geordi LaForge from The Next Generation and Scotty from the original series. As we try to find a good camera angle to look behind us. Doing the best we can. Let's try this. Pardon me. And then when Miles O'Brien came on the scene during Next Gen and took over as the chief engineer during Deep Space Nine, came into his own as a main character in the series. A doctor, not a milkman. Although that was Bones. There we go. The fireflies are getting organized. Annalisa is nodding off. You get some sleep and you get recovered because sleep is good for your health. So I fully recommend the catching of sleep. So you take care, Annalisa, and you sleep well. And we hope and pray for your speedy recovery. Well, I'm glad you enjoy them, Annalisa, but your health is important too. So you catch that sleep, you get that health back, and we will always be here with arms open wide, welcoming you to our little fun streams. I think Warhamster has some work to do with these with the aerobatic wing. Yeah, and don't forget those crisps for Murph. If it's not too much trouble. We've got a big case of the meow going on. Everybody knows that sound. Meow. It can be a lightsaber, it could be car passing by, airplane flying overhead. It's one of those universal sounds. You have a good night, Annalisa, and we will see you on Discord and the next streams. So you take care of yourself. So as we check the instruments out, see where we're at, we're about 30 miles out. Looks like we have some low-level clouds. We got a firefly down there. We got one up here. We're going to double-check our altimeter. Ooh, did some adjustment. Double-check our directional gyro. It's set. That's green, that's green, that's in the green. That's looking okay. It feels getting a little low, but not too low. Speed is good. We're doing awesome. We're in the home stretch. Which is probably a good thing because my water bottle is now empty. Now that's some tasty flying, if I do say so myself. We almost have a full diamond +1 formation going on. That is a tasty burger. Phasers to stun. I just need some Fly to the Valkyries. Na, 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 na. They're organized. That is some really, really fantastic. We've got the King Air 350 demonstration team. I think Murphy might have sent a message to the Irish Air Corps and said, "Hey, we need a couple of King Airs to do some demonstration flights over in the U.S." Don't mind me just coming through. Meow. Oh, looks like we got some clouds moving up to the north. So live weather is still doing something. Meow. I feel like this is almost a VIP transport. We got a nice V formation. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 plus him. We got some nice formation flying going. Well done, everyone. Everyone's doing a fantastic job. Alger is going to sneak in on the bottom. That is some tasty flying that's going on, and you guys should definitely be proud of yourselves. Because it's absolutely amazing. Any thoughts on which runway we're going to line ourselves up for? That is an excellent question. As the low fuel light is on now, we'll check the charts. Well, if the last reported winds were out of the northeast, we're probably going to take runway 01. So we will approach it from the south. And this community is just the gift that keeps on giving. Look at this, just fantastic flying by everyone. As we fly above the crop circles. So we're gonna check back in with the cockpit. Airport is at 4,845 feet. We'll just round it up to about 5,000, which puts us 2,500 above. So we're going to go down to 5,000. $900 feet. 1, 2, 3. We'll start our descent. Pull back on the throttle just a hair. As we're 12 miles out. As we're dropping down to 5,900 feet, so that we're roughly pattern altitude by the time we get there. Although we can probably increase that to 5,500 feet for a descent. We keep an eye out for the field. And draw back on the throttle just a bit more. For about 2,200 RPMs. We're 9 miles out. We continually check the chart. So Rigby is a small town, and it's going to be on just the other side of this river here. It's going to be roughly around here, I would think. Go ahead and turn some of these lights off, as they are unneeded at this point in the journey. We're gonna set heading mode on the autopilot to 080. As to get a decent approach on the runway. As we're 5 miles out, give or take. Keeping a close eye on the horizon and the area in front. It does appear there is some river in close proximity to the airfield itself. As we simply keep a vigilant watch out the window. for our arrival. This looks like it might be it here. So we're going to adjust heading a little bit more to 090. It appears to be the rail line that is in close proximity to the airfield. Three miles out. That does appear to be it. Maybe. Probably. So we're going to go ahead and deactivate the autopilot at all. And begin landing procedures. We will pace cam on for the traumatic effect. So between trim and power, we'll get ourselves in the white arc. As there's our runway. Have it in sight. Two notches of flaps in, excuse me. Reduce power to 1500 RPM. As we turn for final. Ish. And in that last notch, lower the pardon me, power even more. Should have full flaps, so we do. Add some power, we're getting a little low. Over the threshold. Power throttles at idle. Look at that. How about that? All right. We use the rudder to keep on the center line as best as we can. We have the aileron into the wind. Now I'll get shut down and parked up, and so that we can watch the final landings of the evening. As we're going to have to play Dodge the Fuel Truck. Executive parking. So parking brake is set. We're going to put the power at 1200 RPMs while we do our finishing test. That's 12,000. We got to turn the avionics off, lights, except for the beacon, off. Mixture out. Hit the continue button. Let the prop stop spinning. Mags are off, beacons off, master switches are off. Gonna go into the menu. Traffic. Name tags on. Go back. Resume. Get into the fancy camera. As Craft Monkey 86 is down in the King Air, Raleigh Mal is in. Whoosh Blammo and Fly Drakey are in. Merlin Flyer is down. Catbat 9 is in. And we went to the wrong runway, but it all worked out in the end. Oh, we called runway 01. As we don't need to see my ugly face anymore. As Bodit's down, nicely done. Canadian Taz is in. Nice and smooth. As Barchetta is doing a low approach. Appears to be a visual glitch. And so we see Bad Dog coming in. Glad to have you along, Merlin. I'm glad you enjoyed it. As we have War Hamster in. Nicely done, my friend. Bad Dog had a nice landing himself. Hauser is in. As Miller Fam has a nice landing. Get a nice, more cinematic look to the landings. As Nitrous Pulp and Flyboy 68 is in. The Flyboy 1968. Cherub's in. Glidey. Lewis, have a good night, you as well. I'm glad you were along for the journey as we check to see who else is on final. We've got Murphy, we've got Sean Lego Man, Rattling Jeans, White as Ice, and Maggie So inbound. You're all doing wonderful jobs with the flying and the landing and the taking off, and you're all doing fantastic as we've got a new round of landings inbound. I do really appreciate everyone that comes along. That's a turboprop. as Sean Legoman, in what I believe is supposed to be a caravan, makes a smooth, buttery landing. And is holding on to it fairly well on the ground roll. As Rattling Jeans has a smooth rollout. Nicely done. You have a good one, Bad Dog, and I'm glad you are here. We'll catch you next time as Murphy makes a amazingly smooth landing. Well done, my friend. Catbat had a blast. Formation flying, couldn't keep up in the end. Good night and thanks. Well, I'm glad you had fun regardless. You did a great job, and we look forward to seeing you on the Discords and on the next streams. You have a great night. As White as Ice comes in with a oh so smooth landing. Little squirrely, but that's the wind's fault. Raleigh Mall's calling in tonight, and we will see you next time, Raleigh Mall. Glad you were along, and we will see you the next time. Now, is that everybody, or do we have... Sometimes I hate looking. Might have one or two stragglers coming in. So, as we take a nice scenic look at the airport, with everyone that has come in and to join in the flying and the landing and the taking off and the formations and just everything, I thank you oh so much for participating, for chatting, and just participating and just having some fun together. You're all wonderful people, and it's a joy to be in this community. Thanks for Murphy for the coordination with this. We've been kind of tossing the idea around for a while, and it seems to have worked out quite well. So I look forward to doing this more in the future. We'll have to find some more interesting and fun locations to do this in. Do be sure to check out the SimWings event tomorrow. I'm sure they have information on the event and where you can watch. And until next time, be good to each other. Stay safe. Man, I can't even do my own intro without stepping all over my words. Be good to each other. Stay safe out there. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.